Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? I'm gonna leave the chat open here for a minute, just in case you guys are having trouble hearing me or anything. Everyone can hear me okay? Everyone can see me okay? All right. Thank you, John. All right. Everyone's here. Obviously, we're going to be doing the Mopro dashboard training. My name is Mike. I'm going to be walking you through everything. So everyone here either should have a live website or be on the verge of going live. If you're not currently live, let's go ahead and get you live today so you can start using this dashboard and utilizing all the tools you're going to see today. Okay, so I'm going to have everybody go. You should have dashboard access. I'm going to have everybody go to www.mopro.com/login. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with everybody so everybody can see what it should look like and what you should see once you log in. Give me 1 second here, you'll be able to see my screen. All right, cool. So this is the screen you're going to see once you go to mopro.com/login. And again, if you can't hear me all right, here's the login or the URL up top, mopro.com/login. And again, if you guys have any questions throughout our webinar here, I'm going to have you shoot those over to webinar@mopro.com. I'm just going to type that in here on the dashboard login so you guys can see what it looks like. Again, webinar@mopro.com. We'll either get those answered during the webinar or we'll shoot you an email back to get those questions answered as well. So I'm going to go ahead and log into the dashboard, which is just one of our test dashboards here. And this should be the first screen that you guys are looking at. Now, for people that have recently logged into the dashboard, if you did it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you'll notice a couple things have changed. One of the main points we do here at Mopro is constantly make updates and always improve the dashboard, always improve your experience, and always improve the company overall. So you'll notice a few changes here. Normally the Post Office Pro is the first tab that you would see if you had logged in, and as we go through the dashboard here, I can introduce some of the changes that we have as well. So to-dos is the first tab you can see. So I'll give everyone just a minute here to make sure they're logged in, they're looking at the same screen, and everyone can see my screen okay before we move forward. Pop this guy open. All right. Cool. So as I mentioned, the to-dos here is the first tab that you should be looking at. For anyone that's recently seen the dashboard training, you'll notice Robert still won't take out the trash, and I will show you how to add a to-do. Now this portion of the dashboard itself is mainly used for e-commerce and appointment booking. Now for people that are going to be using e-commerce and appointment booking, or for people that know the future, we're going to be doing specific dashboard trainings later on e-commerce and appointment booking. So check out your emails. Keep an eye out for those emails and an eye out for when we schedule them relatively soon. So this notifications tab that you're looking at first, anytime someone places an order or books an appointment on the front end of your website, a notification is going to show up right here. Okay, and it's also anytime you do an internal notification, it'll show up here as well. So again, this portion here is mainly used for appointment booking and e-commerce. So if those are features you are going to be using, think you're going to be using, keep an eye out for those webinars as well. We'll make sure we get those questions answered as well. Okay. But if you go over to the right side under to-dos, this is where you can keep track of internal to-dos. All right. Every single dashboard tab has what we call a call to action. Okay, and that's this tab right here. It's the green button. Sometimes it's blue, but it's that call to action. It's that action that you need to take actually on this portion of the dashboard. Okay. We also build our websites exactly the same way. We put your phone number. We put book an appointment, order online, anything like that in the top corner the same way. We want to draw attention to that call to action button. Okay. So the first tab here is the to-dos. If I go ahead and click this button here, it's going to pop open a title for the to-do as well as the to-do itself. Okay. So if Robert still will not take out the trash, and I don't know why. Maybe I need to have a conversation with him. Robert, take out the trash for the weekend. Oh, apparently I don't have that many characters here. Okay. If I save that now, Okay, now this to-do has been added, okay, and I can see 4 to-dos total under this dashboard name. Okay, now, Robert, if he has a dashboard login, and I'll show you again how to create additional dashboard logins as we move through the webinar, but if he has a dashboard login, he can log in, view the to-dos, and now he knows to take out the trash. Apparently, I need to make Robert a login dashboard because he will not take out the trash, all right? So, that's, again, this is all internal. It's all internal messaging. You can use it if you have 100 employees, if you have 10 employees. You can use it to kind of get that internal messaging across. And again, we stress one login, one password. We want everything to be done through here. So all Robert has to do is log in and learn. He's got to take out the trash. It's starting to smell super bad. All right? Nobody likes that. So again, if you have any additional questions as I kind of move forward, webinar@mopro.com. To-dos is pretty straightforward, so I won't beat a dead horse here, but I think you guys should get it here. And again, if you have questions, webinar@mopro.com, and we'll get those answered. All right, moving along. The exciting tab, the POP, Post Office Pro. Wisconsin, I know Alex knows, we call it soda. I'm gonna keep with that joke. I like it, but it's not even funny. That's all right. So Post Office Pro, this is gonna be one of the most important tools you can use on your dashboard. Okay, and this is how you can post out to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, your blog, and then most recently added is Tumblr. Right. So again, anybody that's recently logged on to the dashboard before yesterday will notice this interface here looks a little different because we recently added Tumblr, and we recently kind of added some new features so that you guys can see how it works and see the improvements that we're constantly making here at Mopro. Okay, so for some people that saw us at trade shows, they may have been familiar with Post Office Pro, but either way, I'm going to roll through it anyway so you guys are 100% comfortable and you can start utilizing this tool. All right, so as I mentioned, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Tumblr, and your blog. You can post all 5 of these media all from one place, okay? So in order to actually configure any of these accounts, all you have to do is click on Facebook, okay, and it's going to bring up the option to actually log in. You have to actually be logged in via Facebook on your computer in order to configure, okay? So all you have to do is go ahead and log in. It's going to prompt the option to select the account that you want to be logged in your Post Office Pro. Go ahead and click that, and it's going to be configured, okay? You have to have a brand page configured to your Post Office Pro. Okay, what that means, if you're unfamiliar with the brand page versus personal page, a personal page at the top has an icon that says Add Friend. A brand page has an icon up top that says Like. Okay, you want the one that says Like. That's a brand page, not your personal page. Okay, so make sure on Facebook that it's attached to a brand page. The rest of them are all just your basic accounts. So Twitter right here I have configured. So once you have all your social media accounts configured, you'll notice they light up here. That means they're currently on. Okay, that means if I go ahead and I post a message, it's going to post out to Twitter and my blog. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and write, it's Friday. Ooh. Because it is Friday. Woo! Go ahead and hit send. Now it just went out to my blog, and now it's gone out to Twitter. Okay, so if I actually open up these accounts, and I'm actually going to go ahead and pop the Twitter account open so you can see it, see that post go through. All right. There is my post on Twitter. It's Friday Woo. All right. No one's complaining about that at all. Now, if I jump on the front end of my site and I go to the blog, you will see the same post is made on my blog as well. Once we load here, there's the same post, April 4th and the time. Okay. So again, you can post to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Tumblr, which is new again, and your blog. All right. Now I encourage everybody, try and post every single day if you can. All right. Now I know you guys are busy. You have your own businesses to run. You don't always have time to make these posts. All right. If you can't do it once a day, I encourage you to do it 3 to 4 times a week. All right. The reason is Google, Yahoo, Bing, all these search engines, they search for sites that constantly create new content, constantly engage their customers and their clients. Okay, if you're engaging people, if you're creating new content, it's creating buzz. People are driving to you. Google, Yahoo, Bing, they're going to be like, you know what? This looks like the party to be at. I'm going right there. Okay. Harsh truth: if you don't care about your site, you don't care about your social media, Google unfortunately doesn't care either. Okay, so make sure you're making those posts. You can't do it once a day, 3 to 4 times a week. Okay, if that sounds completely daunting and you don't even want to handle your social media account, we do have a social media package here. Okay, it's additional $99 a month. But we will do the social media posting for you. And shoot an email over to webinar@mopro.com. If you're interested at all, I'll be sure to get back out to you, and we can get that set up, and I can give you some more information about the specifics and how that works. Okay, so we do have a social media package. It's an additional $99 a month. It's super, super cool. We'll handle all your social media for you. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, so you can stay active. All right. Now, if it's something that you do want to manage, but you still just don't have the time to do it, we created something known as scheduled posting. All right. And what scheduled posting is going to do is exactly what it sounds like. It's going to actually schedule the post for the future. Okay. So down here, right next to the post to, you'll see it says when. All right. And right now it says now. If I click on that and I pop open the date, it's going to give me a calendar. So if I click tomorrow, for example, actually we'll do the 7th, my birthday. Celebrate that, and we'll go with 6 p.m. Okay, and hit done. Now this when changes to April 7th at 6 p.m. And we go in here and we put a message. And we hit send. Okay, scheduling the post. Now the post has been scheduled as opposed to posting right now. Okay, so now on April 7th at 6 p.m. that post is going to go out to my blog, because it's configured on, blog right here, and then Twitter is configured on. Again, if I have Facebook turned on, LinkedIn, and Tumblr, it's going to go out to those as well. Okay, so again, you could sit down on a Sunday night, for example, and schedule out your posts for the entire year if you wanted to. Now you can focus on your business while still being active on social media. All right, and you don't even have to worry about it. It's going to make those scheduled posts once a day, 3 to 4 times a week, and now you can keep up with all the social media. All right, super, super cool, super, super awesome tool to use. So I encourage everybody to do it. All right, and I encourage everybody to make their first post today via the Post Office Pro. All right, don't go into Facebook anymore. Don't go into Twitter. Go right here. Make the post across all 5 media just by doing it once. All right, so I encourage everybody, jump in this today, make this happen, get this ball rolling. All right, awesome. Now, we keep moving here. Calendar, and if you can guess, it is exactly what it sounds like. It is a calendar. All right. You can notice here, it's got April here, and you'll see social posts is happening frequently. Okay. If I hover over, this was from our webinar yesterday. This is a post that I made on the webinar. Okay. If I hover over it, you can see it went to the blog, when, what time, and what the actual message said. All right. If I hover over the 7th, which is when I made that scheduled post, you can see it's going to the blog, it's going to Twitter, it's going when and what time, and the actual message. Okay, so you can actually see all your scheduled posts. So you're not completely locked into whatever you had recently planned. You can go in and make the edits. All you have to do, double click. Here's the actual post itself. You can see the message, again, the time, date, where it's going, and then the icons. You can either delete the post or click Edit Post. It's going to bring you back to Post Office Pro. I'm going to add a couple more exclamation marks because that's how exciting it is. If I re-hit send, it's going to automatically update that post that I have set for 7th at 6 p.m. All right? So I go back over here, hover over, now you can see all the exclamation marks. All right? So we always want to keep it simple for you guys. We want to always to reroute back. We don't want you to have all these back buttons and all these things. Simple. We want you guys to be able to use all of these tools and make sure you're not confused about any of them either. Okay? So again, if you do have questions on any of this, webinar@mopro.com. We will get those questions either answered today during this webinar or later today once we're able to read those questions. Okay? Cool. Okay, again, I referred earlier to the call to action button, and most of the tabs here have this call to action button. On the calendar, it's blue and it says add. If I click on add, it's going to drop down event and appointment. Okay, event, for some people that are familiar, they have events modules on their actual site. Pop open a site so you guys know exactly what I'm looking at, or what I'm referring to here, and I can show you what I'm saying. And if this is something that you currently don't have on your website, but you want it, or you think you're going to be using it later, shoot that email over to webinar@mopro.com, or shoot an email over to our live support team at proteam@mopro.com. Let me write those down for you guys here in the chat box so you can see them and the correct spelling of everything. So you have those on file. Webinar@mopro.com or proteam@mopro.com. Okay, so if this is something you're interested in having this events module on your site, shoot an email over to either of those and we'll make sure we get this updated for you. Okay, so let me jump back into the calendar so I can show you how this is configured, and then you can actually see the front end. Okay, so if I click event, this is going to be any kind of event or class or anything that's going on that you want to drive business to. That again, it's either an event or a class or something along those lines. Very self-explanatory in terms of the information that you have to add. Here's the name of the event itself, the category that you want the event to live in. So, if it's dining, if it's party, if it's anything like that. The description, the actual location. So this is the name of the location. If it's happening to have a trade show booth or anything like that, put the location name, the specific address, okay, and then if you want to drag an image, you can include an image as well. Once you hit next, it's going to bring you to the screen to actually select the day and the time, as well as is this a recurring event? Does it happen once a week, once a month, once a year, or excuse me, multiple times a week, multiple times a month, multiple times a year. So you can set recurring events as well. Okay, after you set an event, it's going to show up in live time on your actual schedule. All right, so you'll see here's the actual name of the event itself, the time, and the location it's at. If I click the event itself, it's going to drop down and give me the specific address. If it's recurring, so I know, is this going to happen again the following Friday, or is this just a one-time thing? And then the description itself. And then, of course, a get directions button. If I go ahead and pop that guy open, it's going to bring me out to Google Maps, and I'll know exactly how to get directions from where I'm located. Okay? So if I go back in here, this is the list view. This is the are going to show up on. And again, we're going to style this so it actually matches your site. So it doesn't look like this. It's going to look like your actual site. Now we also have a calendar view as well. If I click on that, it's just going to bring up a basic calendar similar to the calendar that you're looking at here on the dashboard. Okay. This is the secondary view. The default view, again, is going to be this list posting. So one more time, if you're interested in having the events, webinar at mopro.com or proteam at mopro.com. We will get this updated for you shortly. All right, so awesome. And if you already have the events on your site, I encourage you to start adding them so that it starts getting populated and we start drawing more customers and more business to your website. Now, if I also hit add, the secondary tab is appointment. Okay, and again, I mentioned earlier that we are going to be doing appointment webinars moving forward. So I'm not going to dive too far into this appointments tab, but this is how you can actually manually add an appointment. All right, so when you have appointment booking set up on the front end of your website, customers can go in and actually book an appointment from your site. Some people are super old school and they like to call in on the phone. They call in on the phone, you can go in and actually manually add the appointments as well. All right, got to keep the roots going there as well. So you can also manually add appointments if people want to call in on the phone. So that answers that. And again, when we do this appointment booking webinar, we will dive into that a little more so you can fully see how that works. All right, moving along. We're cruising here. I like it. Friday style. All right, the next tab, statistics. I said it before and I say it again. It's the hardest word for me to say, so I'm going to revert back to the word stats. Now, these are the stats that are related to your actual website. Okay, total visits, visitors, device usage. Okay, the various stats that are picking up from your site. You'll notice up top, this graph doesn't look too exciting. It just has 4 points on it. The reason is always default to this month. It's going to give you this month's stats first. Okay, you can go in and drop the drop down. You can get this week, this month, this quarter, this year. Okay, if I go ahead and click this year, it's going to change the time range from January 1st to today, as opposed to April 1st to today. So you notice once this loads here, we got a lot more dots, a lot of more activity going on here, a little more exciting. Okay, if you hover over any of these dots, excuse me, you'll see the total number of visits and the day. Okay, so for example, on January 15th, 95 people visited my site. If I pop open here, this guy looks like a roller coaster. On March 25th, 505 people visited my site. All right, so you can use these stats to kind of figure out why did 505 people visit my site on the 25th and only 40 people visit my site on the 18th of January. All right, did I have a big sale on the 25th? Did I make a lot of social media posts on the 25th? Did I draw customers and clients to my site on the 25th? And what was I doing on the 18th? Was I just sitting on my hands or not doing anything? So we can use these stats to kind of figure out what drives people in. Kind of remember, what did I do on the 25th? I need to keep doing that so that this number is constant across, as opposed to dropping down to 29 visitors, 40 visitors, and these lower numbers. Okay, so use these stats. If you want even more advanced stats, you can go down here and actually pick a time range. So you can go back to April 4th, 2013 to April 4th, 2014 and actually see an entire year's view. Okay, so use these stats. Find out what you're doing on those days to draw in more customers as opposed to the days when you aren't. All right. Now, keep scrolling down here. You'll notice visitors, device usage, and various other stats. Device usage, pretty self-explanatory. It shows the percentage of people that are actually viewing your site and where they are finding you. 14% on the phone, 82% on the desktop, 4% on tablet. Okay, and each of these stats has a little paragraph below to further explain what the actual stat means and kind of where we're pulling it from. Okay, so total visitors, unique visitors. Now, two stats that it's always important to kind of keep an eye on are the bounce rate and the average time per user. Okay, the bounce rate is the percentage of people that are just going to your home page and they click in the most viewed button online, this bad boy up here. All right, you do not want anyone clicking that button to go back unless it's going back to another page on your site, which in that rate they wouldn't be considered in that bounce rate. So people leaving just the home page. Okay, that number we want to go down. We want the bounce rate to be low. Okay, now that correlates with this number right here, the average time per user. If that number we want to go up. That's the amount of time, obviously average, that people are spending on your website. Okay, there's a reason why we like to put our videos on the home page. We like to put the photos on the home page. Okay, the video itself we cut them 1.5 to 2 minutes. It's just long enough for people to stay engaged, okay, and not get bored, as well as get all the information across. But it also, 1.5 to 2 minutes, it keeps the customer on your site for that long. So you're increasing the average time per user. All right. Once they're done watching that video, they're going to be encouraged to go to the other pages on your site. They're hooked. They know your story. They know your passion. Okay. So there's a reason why we do all of these things. That's going to help increase this average time per user and decrease this bounce rate. Okay, we want one to go up and the other to go down. Okay, and we know the site's going to make that happen. So keep track of these. Even if you like basketball, we still want a low percentage. All right, we want this percentage to look like Shaquille O'Neal's free throw shooting percentage. All right, low, 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 low. All right. Moving down, you can see here browsers, just the various browsers people are finding you on. Chrome is obviously one of the most popular browsers out there, so this percentage is usually going to be higher. Internet Explorer, kind of a old school browser, so not a lot of people are using it anymore, so that percentage is always going to kind of be lower. You can see who's checking you out, where they are, and the various traffic. So top 5 keywords people are using to find you, top 5 pages that people are on when they find you, and top 5 referral sites. All right, top 5 pages is pretty interesting. If you guys have an e-commerce store or you have appointment booking, we need to have that page in the top 5 pages that people are on. Okay, why would we need a retail store in there? Because that's where people are actually bringing business to you. I'm going on, I'm either booking an appointment, I'm checking out. We need to make sure shop or store or appointments or any of that is in the top 5 pages. Okay, so we can go in here and make sure that that's actually happening. If shop isn't in the top 5 pages, we need to find out why and fix that problem. Okay, so we can use these stats to always make sure we're improving your site. The ultimate goal here is bringing business to you guys. All right, that's why we have websites and that's why we do what we do. Okay, so we need to bring business to you, and anything that we can get from these stats, make sure that we're continuing to do that. You get 2 of these. If I could give you 3, I would, but I'm not that talented. So cool. Constantly look at your stats, get updates, see what's going on. Again, use this tool to see what you're doing on specific days and keep that up. All right. I can guarantee you on the 25th, we did a lot of social media posting. We may have had promotions or specials. Check it out. Make sure you're always analyzing these stats as well. All right. Cruising, cruising, cruising. Next tab here is devices. All right. So we build all of our sites in HTML5. Okay. What that means is that your site is going to show up. It's going to automatically resize itself on your desktop, your tablet, and your phone. Okay, so if I go up here, you can see I've got little icons for a tablet and a phone. If I click on phone, you can see this is what my website looks like on a phone. You don't have to pinch, you don't have to scroll, you don't have to do any of that. Okay, you can see it automatically resizes itself. It looks clean. It looks good. All right, a lot of your customers are going to be finding your site on their phone. Everyone uses Yelp on their phone. Everyone uses Facebook on their phone. They're going to find your website on their phone. Right? You need to make sure, obviously, that it looks great on a phone. Okay, we have this little this mobile navigation up here, which drops down on the actual phone itself. The reason we do that, if I open it, for example, now I can see my navigation. If this is open automatically, okay, and you can see here, all of a sudden my video just dropped. All of my content just dropped. Okay, it's not the first thing I see. The first thing I see is this navigation. We want to make sure the first thing someone sees is the video. Okay, people know to click on this. Okay, the Facebook app on the phone, for example, was designed to have this same kind of navigation feel. People are used to that. People know that. Okay, so people know to go up there and click that icon. Again, if the drop down is automatically there, all of your content is just following. We want to make sure they hit the video, they hit the photos, they hit all the call to action that needs to happen right away. Okay, and again, same for the tablet. You can see here it automatically resizes itself to look great on a tablet. All right, so you can go in here. You can also obviously pull it up on your phones and tablets, and you can see what it looks like there as well. But this is kind of a quick view if you don't want to do that as well. All right, cool. That's the first tab, dashboard. A lot of activity in there. So again, if you do have questions, webinar@mopro.com. We will get those answered for you. All right. So the next couple of tabs: store, orders, appointments, and customers. Right. These are all related to e-commerce and appointment booking. All right. And like I said earlier, again, we're going to be doing some e-commerce related and appointment booking related webinars. So we will get into these tabs then. I don't want to kind of go into them in too much detail because I know some people aren't using these features or kind of on the fence about them. But we will be doing those webinars shortly, so keep an eye out. Even if you're thinking about using it, I encourage you to jump in there and get a good feel for that as well. Because I want to make sure you guys are totally comfortable with all of it. I don't want you guys to be confused about anything. So we're here to answer those questions. That's why we're doing this. All right? Awesome. Next tab down here is staff. Now I mentioned earlier with Robert taking out his trash, you can also create logins for other people in your company. Or if you guys have anybody else that you want to be able to access the dashboard, you can do it through this staff tab. All right? Now reverting back to our call to action, theme of the day, every single tab here has this CTA, this call to action. Okay? This one says add staff member. That's the call to action I'm supposed to do on this tab, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I click add staff member. It's going to bring me to a very self-explanatory screen of just basic information for the staff member. Full name, email, password, and that's all you need, and then groups as well. Let me show you, I'm going to back out for a second and explain what this groups portion means. All right, so today I'm going to make Robert an actual password, so we'll take out the trash. But before I do that, there's a secondary tab up here called groups, which correlates again with this tab called group. So I click on that, I click leave this page. You can see I've created all of these groups here. And I'm just going to go ahead and delete some of these because I need to use the actual title again. And if I click add group at the top, okay, here's a group name. All I have to do is, so for example, a lot of people have a social media coordinator, that they just want to use to post to social media, but they don't want access to anything else in the dashboard. This is where you can create a group to actually put that admin in and limit the actual amount of access they have throughout the site. So if I call this group social media posting, okay, and I save it, now I can go in and you'll notice these tabs here correlate again with these tabs to the side. So all you have to do is match up the picture. All right, again, we like pictures, we like video. People don't like to read, so just match up the picture. All right, if I go in here, I click Access Dashboard. Now all that this group is going to have access to is this section here. All right, and you can obviously select multiple, so if you want them to have access to this section and this section, it's all it's going to allow them to when they actually log in. Okay, so if I click Save on this group, going to save that group for me. It's going to bring me back to the groups. Now, if I go back into staff and I click add staff member again, make Robert a pass or a login here. I go to the groups. I find my social media posting group that I just created. I select that, put in Robert's email and the password. All passwords for me, when we create the initial dashboard login, the password is always Mopro. If you go in here, you can actually edit your current logins and you can change the password from here. So all you have to do is go into your own and just change the password right here. That's going to change your dashboard login information. Okay, so again, all of our default passwords are Mopro. This is where you can go in and actually change. Right, if I click Save Staff, now Robert can go to mopro.com/login, put robert@robert.com, password Mopro, and all he's going to have access to, again, is to make social media posts. Okay. Over here on Edit, if I click on that, this is how you're going to bring yourself into your own or whoever else you need to edit. Just go in here, change the password right from here and click Save, and now your passwords will be changed All right, so that's staff and groups. Again, any questions related to any of this, webinar@mopro.com. All right. The next tab here is promotions. All right, and promotions is again related to e-commerce and retail stores, so menus and retail stores. Okay, so coupons and discounts. I'm not going to get too far into this because again, we are going to have those e-commerce related webinars, so I'll dive into this more there. But you can create online coupons and online discounts for your products on your store. Okay, so whether that be 20% off, free shipping, various things like that. So again, when we do those e-commerce related webinars, I will dive into the promotions a little more. But if you want to explore on your own, feel free, get in there, play around. Super exciting. All right? Awesome. We're cruising here. Next tab is settings. These are just kind of your basic settings throughout the site. None of this stuff is going to show up on the front end. This is, again, all internal. Okay? So any business information, this is pretty self-explanatory. Your address, your city, all those kind of things. Again, this is all internal. It does not show up on the front end of your site. If I pop over to the next tab, which is SEO, okay, you can add a description and any keywords to your site overall. All right, again, this tab here for SEO is related to the site overall. If you want us to add specific keywords to individual pages, feel free to shoot over an email to proteam@mopro.com, which is our live support line, and they will add those specific keywords to those specific pages that you want. Okay, and as I move forward into this content tab, I'll show you how to add specific keywords to individual modules on the site as well. Again, so one more time, this SEO tab is for the site overall. It's not page specific, and it's not module specific either. All right, but I will show you how we can do that. So I encourage you to go in here, write up that description, add those keywords, and kind of let those do their work. Okay. The next two tabs, policy and terms, just internal again. You can put your privacy policy, return policy, cancellation policy. So all employees that have access to the dashboard can go in here and easily view any kind of policy or any kind of terms. Again, so you don't have to dig through old emails, you don't have to ask anybody. One username, one password. Dive in here, make your social media posts, go learn what your terms are. Okay? Again, all internal, not going to show up on the front end of the site. Okay, the only tab within these 5 that will show up on the front end is language. All right, and this is a really cool tool for people that have other kind of languages and people that speak other languages come to their website. Okay, so you'll notice about 100 languages listed here. English is by default one of all of our sites default to when I go to, for example, barnyard2.com. And if I go to any other language here, so for example, I click on Irish, let's do I don't know, Danish, okay, and we'll add Italian. If I click on save, and now I pop open the front end, you'll notice something's been added here, and it's a drop-down that says English. Obviously, this site here is in English. If I click the drop-down, you'll notice Italian and Danish have now shown up. Okay. If I click on Italian, my site has just been translated into Italian. Okay, so super cool tool that you can use to actually bring up other languages on your site. Now you can have all 100 languages selected if you want. All right, what it's going to do is just make this drop down a lot longer, obviously because all the languages are on there. All right, so I encourage you, if others, people that speak other languages come onto your site, I encourage you to put this translation feature on your site so they can also read it in whatever language they're comfortable in as well. If you just select one language, all right, the way that it's going to look on your site looks a little different. Okay, so for example, I just have Italian selected. Now it's just a click. So all I have to do is click English, for example. And it's going to bring me back to English. Okay, so it's not a drop down. It's just click the actual language itself, and it's going to translate that into that language. Okay, now if I scroll down, your default language. This is the actual default language that obviously shows up when I go to your website. Okay. If you added a secondary language here, and I click the drop down, there's Italian. If I make it Italian and click save, now when I go to the website, the default language is going to be Italian. All right. So whatever default language you want to use, go ahead and select it. Just hit save, and that's going to be the default language that shows up. All right. Cool. The next tab here is social. All right. This is where you can connect all of your social media accounts. So Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, Tumblr, Yelp, and Foursquare. All right, again, people that have recently logged into that dashboard before yesterday, this interface has changed as well. We're going to be launching a very, very cool tool called Reputation Manager shortly here. And once we release that, you'll see a new feature on your dashboard, and we will also do a Reputation Manager webinar so everyone can see how that works as well. So there are a few more social media accounts that you can add to the social media settings. So I encourage you to connect all of these social media accounts that you have, and so they're connected. So once we roll out with Reputation Manager, we can show you how all those features work. Again, Facebook here, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Tumblr all correlate. Once you connect these here, they will be connected on Post Office Pro as well, okay, which is right here. So you can either configure these by clicking it or just going into the settings and configure it there, okay? And the next couple of tabs here are related to store, appointment, booking, and custom. So I'm not going to go into those settings too much, but be my guest, go in there, play around with the actual settings themselves. We will get into these when we do the e-commerce appointment booking webinars. Okay, there is a setting here for blog. Okay, and you can go in and check blog settings as well. Okay, now the final tab, which is probably my favorite tab here, is the CMS, the Content Management System. All right, this is where you can go to actually make live updates on the front end of your website. All right, so you'll notice here there's a couple tabs: basic info, testimonial, team. All of these you'll notice on the actual site itself. Okay, so I'm not going to get too technical here, but the way that we build our sites is, for example, if you have testimonials. So for example, on the front end of this website, you can see testimonials right here. We build our sites in a module form. So for example, if you have testimonials, we build it in what's known as a testimonials module, so that it automatically pulls from this section of the content management system. So everything isn't all jumbled together. You can easily go in, find the section that you want to edit, click into it, and now you can edit actually that section. Okay, so you'll notice, and the same goes for team and page work, which I'll get into here shortly. So notice the two testimonials that are sitting right here are the two testimonials that are obviously on the front end of the website. I can go in and there's a little pencil right here. I click edit, and now I can edit the actual testimonial. So you'll see here I'm going to delete this pound sign. I'm going to click save. And I'm going to refresh the front end of my website. And if I scroll down to the testimonials, you'll notice the pound sign is now gone. Okay, so any edit I make from here does happen in live time. All right, so if I go in here and I change anything, I change the photo, refresh the front end of my site, that's going to happen in live time. All right, if these are changes you don't want to make, every client gets 60 minutes of live support every month. Okay, we want to make sure that you guys do have access to make these kind of changes that you want on your own. If for some reason you don't want to make these changes or functionality just doesn't allow you to make the change, 60 minutes of aftercare per month with our live support team. Okay, so again, proteam@mopro.com, or you can call them. Let me write down the number here so everyone has it. Oops. It's 1-888-712-9892. Okay, so 1-888-712-9892. Okay, that's the number for our live support team. So again, 60 minutes of live support every month. All right, so if you want updates for you, give us a call. We'll make those updates within a 24-hour turnaround time. If you need them done immediately, get into your CMS, make that update happen, and you'll see it happen in live time. All right, but go back up to the top again. The theme of the day, call to action. Okay, if I can see add testimonial. Someone just said something awesome about me, I click add testimonial. Same exact screen I was looking at before with editing, but now I can actually add new information. So I can just go in here, type whatever I need to, and click save. I can drag it, drop a photo, or choose an actual file. Okay, now if you do add a new testimonial, it will not show up in live time on the front end of your site. All right, it will show up in your CMS, but it will not show up in live time. All you have to do is shoot us an email, give us a call at the email address and phone number I just provided, and we will go in there and we will turn on that testimonial for you. Okay, so then it will show up on the front end of your site. All right, so that's testimonials for you. Team works exactly the same way, all right? But the only difference is now we build it in a team model. So you can see exactly where you need to go and it's not confusing and everything, again, it's not jumbled all together and you can't seem to find it. So same exact thing here. If I go to the front end, if you have a team page, we're going to build it this way. That's how we do all the team pages, for example. I know, for example, here's 2 team members. Okay, same exact thing. Pencil, go in here, and I'm going to add the pound sign to Jesse. Hit save. refresh that page. And now that pound sign is added, again, in live time. So you can go in here and make those edits to the team page. Okay? Again, if you add a new team member, which is up here, you will have to call us, email us, let us know. We'll go ahead and we'll turn it on and it'll show up in live time. So you can make any of the edits, but if you're going to add new information, again, we have to go in and actually turn it on where it's going to be. Okay? The next tab here, social. This is where you can configure any social media account that you want to have an icon show up on the front of your site. So if you'll notice on every site we put social media accounts in the footer. This one, for example, just has Facebook, but if I click on it, it's going to link out to my Facebook page. Okay? Now, these are I believe there's 18 here, 18 social media accounts that we can add to the footer. So if you have these and they're not currently in the footer, shoot us over, send us an email with the specific link to your account. We will go in and we'll make sure we get those accounts added in the footer. Okay? So Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Yelp, YouTube, TripAdvisor, for a lot of landscaping places and real estate uses house. So any of these that you have, go ahead and give us the link. We'll make sure we get them added in the footer. All right, so that's social. The next tab is local. Okay, this is a list of every local directory that we can work with. All right, if you guys aren't currently set up on any of these local directories, or there's some of them that you currently aren't set up on, but you are on others, shoot us over an email. We will set up accounts for you on every single one of these local directories. Okay, we'll set up the account, we'll add the URL, and you'll be set up on all of these. All right, you might not be familiar with some of them, but it doesn't hurt to be set up on them anyways. All right, shoot us over an email, either webinar@mopro.com or protein@mopro.com, and we will get all these local directories set up for you. Okay, if you currently have any of these already set up, shoot us over the link to the specific local directory, and we will get this configured for you. Okay, and again, because it is on the CMS, if it's something that you want to do, click on that social tab, hover over the actual local directory itself, paste the URL here, hit save, and now it's already set up. All right, so one more time, if you don't have any of these or you're missing some of them and you want them, shoot us over an email, give us a call. We will get these set up for you so you do not have to. All right? Cool. Moving down to images, videos, and files. Okay? Images, videos, and files are all for internal use. So, for example, if I pop open the images tab, you'll see a drag images here, so I can go in and add new images to the images tab. These will not show up anywhere on the front end of your website. Okay? This is all for internal use. And the same goes for videos, the same goes for files. Okay? Again, we always stress we want you to only have to remember one username and one password. Okay? If for some reason you go and you have a freelance photographer come in and do 50 brand new photos and you want them added to the gallery of your website. All right, they're high res, they're big files. It's hard to email those. I don't want you to have to make a Dropbox account because you have to share all these people and remember the password. Just take those photos, upload them into the image tab of the CMS. We can go in here, download those images, and get them put in your gallery. Okay, so this is a way for us to share images. So you don't have to remember all these passwords, try to email all these images, or send over a flash drive or any of that kind of stuff. Just go in here, pop them in here, and we can pull them right in here and get them uploaded where you want them on your site. Okay. The same goes again for videos, and the same goes for files. So again, just kind of a sharing tool for us if you do have any more media that you want added to the front end of your website. All right. The next tab here, locations. This is going to be obviously your location. If you guys move for some reason, click on the little pencil here. Again, we always go to the pencil for editing, and you can go in here, just change the actual address itself, and this is again going to happen in live time. It's going to move this little pinpoint here to wherever the new location is. All right, I'm not going to change this location. But as soon as I hit save, it's going to move that to wherever the location is. Again, it's going to also change on your website. So this map, this pinpoint here, is going to move to wherever you are. Okay. Now, one more time, theme of the day, call to action up top. You see it's green, it says add location. If I click add location, it's going to bring me up the same screen here with location name, address, city, state, all that information. If I go in here and I put in a new location, a new address, a new city, all this information, click save, it's going to drop a pin here wherever the next location is. All right. If it's further out than what you see here, the map is going to expand out so you can see both pinpoints. All right. What it's also going to do, if I go to the contact page where we always put our maps, our contact information, Also going to add the secondary location here with another get directions button. Okay, this direction button is obviously related to this address. The other get directions button will be related to the new address. Okay. As soon as you click save on here, it will happen in live time. This is the one here again that will happen in live time when you add it. Okay, so again, team testimonials, and as soon as I get to page blurbs, when you add new testimonials, new team members, it does not happen in live time. You have to call us and let us know. Locations, if you add a new location, this will happen in live time. You do not have to let us know. The pinpoint will drop by itself. Okay. Next tab here is page blurbs. All right. Any kind of major text that you're looking at on your site, so any kind of paragraph text, for example, that is what we build again in what's known as page blurb. Okay. And these are things again that you can edit in live time. So if I go back to my home page, some of you may have noticed there's 3 paragraphs here. Okay, paragraph text with a photo. These are in page blurbs. All right. The reason again why we break it up from testimonials and team is so that everything isn't in the page blurb. You know that if it's just a paragraph text not related to testimonials, not related to team, then you know it's going to be a page blurb. All right. So you easily find where this stuff is within the CMS. All right, if I find this first page blurb within the CMS, okay, this photo here with Barnyard Venison in California, I can see this page blurb is right here. Okay, again, editing, we go back to our pencil, same exact screen that you're looking at before with the team and the testimonials. If I go in here and I actually spell out California in full, I can drag a new image here, add a title, any of those kind of things. Click save. If I go in here again and refresh the front end of my website, scroll down, you can see Barnyard Venice is in California spelled out in full. So again, this is happening in live time. All right, so for example, you guys are open for 15 years, all right, and it's been another year. I think your math is good enough to know now it's been 16 years. Get in that page blurb, change that 5 to a 6. Now everything is up to date. Okay, again, if this is stuff that you don't want to edit, you want us to do, 60 minutes of live support every month, either proteam@mopro.com, 1-888-712-9892 to get in touch with your live support member. All right, cool. We got some questions rolling in here. Let me just grab the, let me pull that up for you. So, let me see what's really explained to me.
Diego's asking, hello Mike, what about the tab titles? Can you edit them too?
Yeah, so Diego, are you referring to the navigation tab titles for each page? Yes, okay, cool, that's what I assumed. The actual navigation itself up top, so if it is any of these, so home, story, gallery, press, any of those you cannot edit, okay? So if you want those words changed, for example, again, just shoot us an email, give us a call, and we'll make that update for you, okay? And it does take up to 24 hours to make that actual change happen. All right, so any kind of edit here, allow up to 24 hours to actually make that edit happen. Okay, does that answer your question for you? All right, cool. Great's a fun word. It's a lot better than good. I like that. All right. So the next tab here, which is the final one that we need to go through, is the blog. So some of you may have been wondering, on my Post Office Pro, you're sitting here saying, I make really extensive blog posts, and you're limiting me here in the actual functionality. And to that I say, I am not, because in the content tab here, we do have a blog post. Okay? This is going to allow you to actually make more extensive blog posts. So you can add video, photos, bullet points, bold, underline, italicize, all that jazz. Okay, so once we load here, a little slow on me, so I apologize for the delay. Let's see here. All right, well, I'll talk about it even though you're looking at a white screen here just so we can kind of dive into it. There will, again, be a call to action button. Once this guy loads on me, it'll be green that says write post. When you click on it, it's going to open up a more extensive blog posting system. You can add a title, there we go. My impatience here. All right, write a post. Here, as you can see, I was explaining, you can add a title here. All right, I can go ahead and make the post. All right, I can go in here and bold, italicize, underline, all that jazz there. Okay, I can add a hyperlink, for example. So if I click on this little link, I want it to go to mopro.com, insert that. Okay, And now this on my blog post is going to link out to Mopro.com. All right, I can add images. So if I pop open the images, drag and drop, or select, add an image. Video, I can put a YouTube link or a Vimeo link. All right, what's going to happen in the blog post when you put these? It's not going to be a link out. It's going to actually put the player on your blog post. And again, the reason we want to do that, we don't want people going to YouTube. We want people staying on your actual website. Okay, so I can watch the YouTube video within the blog post itself. Okay, final tab here is audio. So you can put an audio clip from SoundCloud. Just put the URL in there. SoundCloud link will show up on the blog post. All right. Scrolling down, you can make categories for the specific blog post. Add keywords to the specific blog post. Where you want to publish it to. So it'll go to your blog, but you want to publish a link to Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. The answer to that is yes, you do. So go ahead and click all those as well. Okay. Publish date. Again, we go back to the scheduled post. You want it to happen now. You want it to happen at a future date. So again, you can go in there and write blog posts for a year. Man, they're going out at whatever date you say, and you're looking good on that blog. All right. And then finally, you can add comments, disable or enable comments. Right. So people can log in, for example, on their Facebook account, leave a comment on your blog post. All right. Comments can obviously go two ways. People can go in and say things that are not so cool. But they can also go in and say things that are super, super awesome. Okay. It also allow that customer, if they are logged in on Facebook, to make that post happen on their Facebook account as well. So again, we're driving more traffic because now on that person's Facebook page, there's a link to your blog. They click that, and now they're on their website. Okay. So use comments however you want. If you don't want people posting on anything you write, disable it. If you want them posting, go ahead and click enable the comments. Okay, and then again, all it takes is click publish. Okay.
We've got another question from Diego.
All right.
One more question. At the moment, I have no blog tab on the website. Will it appear as soon as I activate the tab, or should I ask you guys to add it too?
I will go ahead, if you want a blog post, Diego, I'll go ahead and make sure we get a blog tab in there for you today, as soon as we're done here with the webinar. You want a blog section added? All right, with the exclamation mark. Diego, you're my guy. I like you. All right, cool. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get that blog added for you, so then you can start utilizing all these tools. Okay? And yeah, that is the rundown of the dashboard. So I hope I answered everybody's questions. If there are further things you need further explanation on, webinar@mopro.com. I encourage you to shoot over an email because I know Alex has heard this one before, but we do have a daily sweepstakes going here. If you shoot over an email to webinar@mopro.com, we will be selecting one person for 1 free month of their Mopro package. All right, so shoot over your questions. If you have any comments, I would have preferred to hear this as opposed to this. This could have gone a little better. Or, and I encourage you also to take the survey after this. But if you have any comments or compliments, it is Friday. Send me into the weekend on a good note. Send over some compliments as well. I do like them. To webinar@mopro.com. You will also receive, like I mentioned, a survey as soon as this webinar is done. If you want to give me 5 stars, I will give you a high five in my mind. So yeah, I encourage you to take the survey as well. I can also learn from it. I want to constantly make these better, make sure that you guys are learning everything that you need to learn. Yeah, so again, webinar@mopro.com, or call us on our live support, 1-888-712-9892, and we'll get anything answered for you. So thank you guys for coming, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Have an awesome weekend. Don't work too hard today. You got bigger priorities for this weekend to go on. Cool. Thanks, Andy. All right. Have a good weekend, guys.